First, Trey, in exactly 1 minute or less, okay, there, just tell us a bit about yourself for someone who, as if we've never met you.
Okay, wonderful. I am Trey, a very tortured Miami Hurricanes fan. Has not been a pleasant experience, as I'm sure many of you as Nebraska Husker fans can relate to. So my unpleasant experience is a little bit warmer than some of your unpleasant experiences. That is me. I torture my wife and children with a very immature sense of humor the most of the time. I'm trying to be on my best behavior right here so that I don't want to embarrass them while I'm on the road. I spend a lot of my time thinking and writing. I journal a whole lot. And when I go back and read the stuff in my journal, I am disappointed in me. I'm not all the way wired the right way, but there's never a dull day being me. My time is up?
15 seconds.
15 seconds. I'm done. Hit the timer.
Okay, well, let's just sit and enjoy each other's presence for the next. Oh, time's up.
Here we go.
So, this is going to be a flash round. So answer quickly. This is a way of us getting to know you. I'm just going to give you 2 options. You have to pick one. None of this like, oh, maybe something else. You've got to pick one.
Okay.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You could play along in the audience, but let's not cause an entirely new split in the Mennonite denomination. The Mennonites for cats and the Mennonites for dogs church. Books or movies?
Books.
Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
Harry Potter.
Ooh, well, that'll be the end of art now. Podcast or music?
Music.
Oh, you produce a podcast, don't you?
A couple of them.
And you did not choose that. No, I'm just checking. Just checking. Coca-Cola or Pepsi?
Pepsi? I don't drink pop. I'm learning.
Football or basketball?
Basketball.
Cake or pie?
Pie.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
They're the same thing. I don't know. The one with the big violent chip, that one.
Salty or savory?
I don't know. Salty.
Mennonite or Anabaptist?
Anabaptist.
Ooh, yeah, no, that's... Okay, so what... Now it's going to be a little bit more open.
Okay.
So right now, not like of all time, but right now, what would be your current favorite song?
Happy by Pharrell Williams.
Oh. What would be your current favorite movie? It could just be one you've seen recently, too.
Wakanda Forever.
Oh, Wakanda Forever, yeah. Go to watch right now.
Bob's Burgers.
Oh, okay. The favorite book that you've read recently?
I'm going to go with In My Grandmother's House by Yolanda Pierce. Chicken and sauce is a Haitian dish.
Okay. Why did you become a pastor? What made you make such a terrible decision?
Yeah, we say that in jest, but in all honesty, it's because I can't do anything else and maintain my integrity. Yeah, we can laugh at that, but it's funny. I recognized at a relatively young age that when I said and did things, people paid attention. When I was in school, it manifested in me being a class clown. When I got to college, it manifested people elected me to all sorts of leadership positions in clubs that I didn't really want. And at some point, I recognized that I could either use that propensity for something constructive or something destructive. And as I began to take my faith more seriously, natural progression led to me stepping in. Nature abhors a vacuum. The youth pastor left and went somewhere, and I didn't want the kids to be bored. So I started dealing with them. And sooner or later, before you know it, I just wouldn't stop talking about God. People listened to me talk about God, so I became more serious about my craft, and I literally cannot do anything else without betraying who I am in essence, in nature, and in integrity.
What's the best part for you of being a pastor?
So you know this about me, that I am something of a provocateur. That the class clown part of me hasn't all the way left. The troublemaker is still in me. And there are times when I will plant seeds that I recognize will make people uncomfortable in their faith, because I recognize that growth is an uncomfortable process. So my favorite part about being a pastor is getting people to this point of uncomfortability and sitting with them in that space as we grow to the next level of our journey.
What's the worst part?
People who refuse to get uncomfortable with me. No, the hardest part is that when you do this work and you take it seriously, there is a level of personal investment that leaves you vulnerable to pain. When Jesus serves the people, Jesus leaves himself vulnerable to being betrayed. Jesus leaves himself vulnerable to being arrested and persecuted. And if you choose to walk with people and try to commit yourself to people as Jesus did, there's a wide open back. And sometimes you end up getting a little hurt in the process. The tough part is not taking that personally. The tough part is remembering, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. That when I get hurt, it's not because people dislike me. It's because we're all trying to process this thing called life, and sometimes it's difficult.
Last question. This is a tough one. Why did you agree to come to Nebraska?
Whew. I agreed to come to Nebraska because I felt that there was an opportunity. I cannot name the opportunities, but there are times when I recognize open doors and faith demands that I walk through them. As I stand in this room, I am very much outside of my element. And as I think about this thing called faith, it can never leave us in our element. It demands that we walk where we cannot see. And so when you asked me if I was interested in coming to Nebraska, the first thing I said was, well, let me talk to the pastors. And I asked you guys a bunch of questions, and I said, yeah, none of this sounds familiar at all. God must be involved. So I hopped on the plane in the middle of the winter. I came to Nebraska. And that's how you know I don't have no sense.